Welcome everybody to another episode of Coffee Time with Tino. I am your host, Santino. So, day 2 of votes for speakership and day and third vote, and Jim Jordan could still not secure the 217 votes needed for speakership. Yesterday he did obtain 200 votes. Today he obtained 199. Not just did he obtain one less vote, but there were more Republican colleagues that voted for an individual that's not even in consideration for the speakership. So essentially, those are more votes against him. I think yesterday there were about 7 or 9 that voted for other people. Today was about 22. So you can count those as additional votes against him. Hakeem Jeffries, the Democratic congressman, still had his 212 behind him. Unfortunately, couldn't secure the 217, but he still had the full support of his body, of his Democratic body. You did not see anyone or hear or read of any one Democratic colleague deviate or go off, in non-support of Hakeem. So what does this tell you? So the Republican Party cannot communicate, they cannot agree, they cannot align. Now, with Kevin McCarthy, he faced the same issue, and essentially at one point he had to basically sell his, as they say, his soul to the devil by agreeing to give Marjorie Taylor Greene what she wanted, and Matt Gaetz, and all these other people, right? He had to he had to fold. He had to negotiate in order to obtain a speakership, rather than having the full support to rightfully earn that speakership. So here, with Jim Jordan yesterday not obtaining the 217 votes, that was his time from yesterday to today, was to speak to these, Republican colleagues that did not vote for him, or these Republican colleagues that voted for others. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna help you understand that I am the candidate for, or I am the right person for, that I should be the Speaker of the House for, and he couldn't even do that. And I think, with more individuals voting for somebody that wasn't even in consideration for speakership, lets me know that people are kind of waking up. Jordan is a Maga dude, and I think even the Republican Party is getting tired of this really extreme. I didn't think conservative Republican candidates or Republicans can get so extreme, but that's the way it's just gone through this whole thing, this whole fucking nightmare. But even they're waking up and saying, no, you're not an effective candidate. All you're going to do is you're going to hold the Democratic, or rather the Republican body hostage. You're going to hold the government hostage. Just what we've been going through with this threats of government shutdown. Jim Jordan, as Speaker of the House, would ensure that would continue to happen, rather than letting government to go on. Now, if you go to X or anywhere else, any other platform that you go to propagate your opinion, you're going to see all these Republicans that months ago, where Jim Jordan is a guy, he's the one, he speaks his mind, he puts people on the spotlight, he's a committee chairman, he's tough, he's a dog, he's now they're all saying that he's not worth a shit. And now all of these people are saying that their party's not worth a shit, and that this election coming around, they're not going to vote Democrat, obviously, but they're not going to vote Republican either. They're just not going to vote. So this Republican Party has been imploding for some time now, and it's just getting worse. And with this horrible speakership election going, it just goes to show more and more that these Republicans can't get together, that they can't communicate, they can't agree, that they can't even agree to come together just to get this guy elected. And then later on, they can all go into their own, agendas, as they usually do, But no, his own Republican colleagues are saying, this MAGA stuff is bullshit. It's causing more damage than it has helped to our people. And that's my opinion, is that, they're waking up slowly, they're waking up surely. They're getting hip to the fact that, these are just, kids on a playground fucking around, and if they don't get their way, they're going to throw a tantrum, is basically what they've done. If the way we faced 2 almost government shutdowns just because they couldn't get what they wanted. Now, whether you're Democrat or Republican, independent, whatever, with a government shutdown, all of you out there that would have been for the government shutdown because you didn't get what you wanted as a Republican, you don't understand how that would have affected you as well. See, that's the thing. This base is so full of hate and blinded hate and affected so negatively by their own biases that, you're not considering how it's going to affect you, or you just don't care, or you're willing to let the greater hurt for the few. And what I'm seeing is that these Republicans are saying, no, we can't let that happen. This is another show that MAGA is not as strong as they are. It's not as strong as they are. Look what happened with this past election with this red wave. Gen Z came out and said, no, you're not going to take away my voting rights by raising the voting age from 18 to 21. No, you're not going to take away Roe versus Wade. No, LGBTQIA, you're not going to take away my ability to identify as who I want. You've pissed off a lot of people. No, you're not going to bring back Jim Crow. These Republicans have done so much damage to not just their own party, but to America. And people are coming out, they're making themselves heard. And this is all a product of the Republican Party, real quick, I just want to say when it comes to, the LGBTQIA, it is nobody's business to tell anybody how to identify. When it comes to Roe versus Wade, it is nobody's business to tell a woman what to do with her body. When it comes to immigration, it is nobody's business to tell anybody to go back to where you came from. When it comes to anything, it's nobody's business to do anything for anybody else's consideration. If you really wanted to speak for people that needed the help or that you think needed the help, then help the homeless, help the mental ill that are out there that need the help, that need to be spoken for, and do it the right way. How about that? No, what for? Because they don't vote, or they don't go, or they're just not important because they're homeless, or because they're sick, they're not as important. No. And it's interesting because through this whole time, you've seen the Democrats talk about legislation, pass legislation, talk about how to further, America, how to make America better. Now, are they the best solutions? Not always, no. Are they, the best steps to take? Not always, no. But when you look at the Republican sect, what do you see? It's always complaining and bitching about, this and that and here and that. You don't hear or see anything about Republicans passing any legislation or talking about any productive legislation. All you see and hear is them being pissed and upset and hurt and, me. George Santos with his new allegations against him of contributor fraud, oh my God, no. Marjorie Taylor Greene, oh no, well, no, you see, that's the difference there. And people are seeing that, in my opinion, and they're starting to wake up to it. They're saying, oh my God, Republicans can't even get along. And again, if you go to the platform that you like to propagate your opinions on, you're going to see this. You're going to see Republican citizens, Republican members, even Republican members of the Senate and Congress, who at one time were saying, oh my God, we're the party for the people, we're going to take over, we're going to kick ass, we're going to do this and do that. Now they're calling out their own people. They're chewing off their own Republican colleagues, legs and tails. They're holding each other down. And again, my opinion is that they're waking up to the fact that MAGA is not as strong as they are. That one vote is important in order for them to be able to go on with their plans. But if a speaker if Jim Jordan can't even secure the 217 and actually get less votes, that's a sign of things to come for Jim Jordan. This is a sign of things to come for MAGA. Your own party is getting away from you because this is too extreme. So it's going to be interesting to hang out and watch for the fourth vote and see what happens. Hopefully, we don't have to give that mayor pro tem any more, power than what he needs to have. But yeah, this is ridiculous. This is why we're the laughingstock of the world. We're supposed to have one of the most stable congressional body, within any government, and because this MAGA group want to throw their tantrums, they're hurting themselves. Or you know what? Just wait until the elections. Just wait until 2024. You're going to see how bad it's going to be even worse. Here comes the blue wave. So yeah. So we'll wait for this next vote to come around, and then we'll be back to talk later. Okay. All right, guys. Have a good day. I'll talk to you soon.